Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons The Second Age. How are we all doing?
Woohoo! We wish you a Merry Christmas.
No.
What? It's so late.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't say it last time. So
we haven't
hope you had an
celebrated
excellent
Christmas since last decade.
Yeah, true.
That's
But
true.
we hope you had a fantastic Christmas last decade, and we hope you have a fantastic this decade.
You say this like you assume this is going out this year, which at the current rate, probably not.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, wow, the Roaring Twenties have got off to a great start.
No, incorrect already.
I'm sure the next decade things won't go totally downhill in any way.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, really. We don't need that bad energy in the air.
That's my job.
It's the
No,
Roaring
Minnie,
Twenties.
your job is
They'll
to
last
say it's
forever.
fine.
Yeah, it's the Roaring Twenties. It'll go on forever. The
Before
Americans in the room can totally vouch for that.
before we collapse into absolute chaos, does anyone want to remind me exactly what happened the last time we played this game?
Well, last time, can't remember exactly where we left off, but we set off to the northeast of the continent, heading off to find. Oh wow, I keep forgetting the name. Give me one second.
That's why I've brought the map up.
Yes. Although I have it covered right now. Here we go. Almost there. Oh, actually, which one of the two did we go to?
Went to Ardstar.
We went to Artistar and then we went to Emberroth.
Ah, yes. Well, at least somebody remembered.
No, I just have notes in front of me.
Well, hey, don't like take my credit away. I did remember
That's fair.
for once.
Well, we went up there in order to do two things: get a safe and find Lithari. Mainly find Lithari. On our way up, we stopped by Grim's parents. Had some, had a little bit of fun there. Discovered that his sister had become a bit of an alchemist, and enlisted her service. After that, we continued to Lithari, where we basically messed about for a whole lot, and made a sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did.
and she was being a sneaky ninja grandma behind everyone's back.
Yeah.
Turns out she was back grandma.
But only Arya knows this at the moment.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sneaky ninja back grandma, and Aya's probably not going to tell any of us.
Nope. It's our little secret.
Sneaky ninja back grandma sounds like a really weird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's like a
No.
weird spin-off.
Sneaky ninja back grandma.
Nope. No.
So,
It's weird how on the nose.
Hero in a magic mask. Grandma power.
anyway.
Uh.
We ended the previous session with the now 4 of you, no, now 5 of you, sorry,
Yeah.
departing
Come on,
from...
let's count.
Well, it's because one person is not in Roll20.
Oh,
Damn.
Shame.
called out. I do get
Get
shamed.
wrecked, Luka.
Yes, it started with, we ended last session with the 5 of you departing from Emberroth and taking the road south. I don't know why I brought you back to this map. Taking the road south back towards the city of Ardenstar. And it's a fairly long journey to make your way back. I think you have enough mounts between the 5 of you. But even so, it's slow going between the the cold conditions, the low light during the day, as basically you are at the very crest of winter right now. The days are short, and this far north it's cold, snowing a large percentage of the time, and navigating the roads is a little more difficult than perhaps some of you are used to. Arya, however, is more than comfortable in the icy conditions, being a winter Eladrin.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, your journey is. Well, I want to say almost ethereal in that you don't encounter a single other soul traveling for the majority of the time that you're on the road. In fact, the rare occasion that you run into somebody else on the road, it's almost a surprise, as there's not another living soul out here. But the few people that you do see traveling from place to place are people only traveling like sort of a short distance, like between neighbouring hamlets. Nobody on quite such an epic journey as yourselves. And basically, as you probably about halfway through your journey, as you're beginning to come into the shelter of the Winterclaw Mountains, on the border of the forest that leads to the Lithari, that you know leads to the Monastery of the Seven Winds. I'd like all of you to make me a perception check.
Does Lyra get to make one too?
Lyra can make one as well, yes.
We're off to a great start, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Lyra always comes through.
Okay.
Elizabeth with her +8.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, me and Lyra have the same bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elizabeth, you as you're traveling, the sort of the only sounds that you can hear, like as you're traveling, is the conversation of your companions, the crunch of horses' hooves on snow. But as the conversation that your companions are having reaches a natural pause, you swear you can hear another set of voices that seem to be shouting or calling to one another. And as you notice this, Lyra, you notice that Lyra's ears pick up, and she starts to like stare off down one side onto an embankment, down an embankment towards a field of snow that is spread out in front of you. And as you follow the direction of Lyra's, like that Lyra is looking in, you can see a short distance away, maybe a few minutes at a brisk pace, you can see two individuals look like they're dragging a third, while a fourth is making their way slowly towards them, and the two groups seem to be like shouting to each other.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, whoever I'm on the horse of, I'd probably just like, or on the horse with, I'd just be like poking them on the shoulder and going, "Can you guys hear that?" Because there's honestly, I don't know what's going on, but it looks like someone's having some trouble over there.
wow. Yes, we don't have. We can afford a little detour, or well, not really a detour, but
I mean, if people are in trouble, we should check it out anyway.
yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So you take your horses off the path and ride towards this crowd of people. as you close in, Elizabeth, you notice this first. The rest of you sort of pick up on it the closer you get. There are two figures who both look human, and one they both have their arms hooked around like the like each looped through the arm of the person that they're dragging, who appears to be possibly half-elf from their build and figure, who appears to be sort of thrashing and like attempting to like pull away from them, but doesn't seem to be entirely in control of their like limbs as you would expect like a someone to be. They're sort of thrashing around wildly, and the two individuals that are dragging them are having quite a difficult time hauling them, both wading through the snow and hauling this person who's thrashing around. And they are yelling shouts of like "hurry up" and "come on" to this to the figure who is slightly further away, who appears to be a rather portly-looking dwarf who is like struggling to like wade through the like waist-deep snow here.
It doesn't look like the person that they're dragging is trying to like escape or anything, right?
It does, but they are it's equal parts sort of like trying to like break free from them, and yeah, like equal parts like trying to break free and equal parts like aimless flailing. They do not appear to have noticed your presence yet.
Guess we should just make our presence known.
Yeah.
Well, if we want to maintain some advantage, Arya and I could sneak off to the side. She says with a smile.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. Just so
Yeah.
they don't know our full strength. Though, how they would be more intimidated by us than a Dragonborn is to be seen,
Okay.
but you know.
So the two of you can make a stealth check to hide in the snow.
Do I get a bonus because I'm a winter Eladrin?
No, unfortunately not.
Damn.
That's not how your racial abilities work.
I don't need it anyway!
Yeah, sure, you don't need it.
Don't.
Arya
don't
swan dives into the snow.
Don't I get some sort of bonus from hiding in the
Because you're a wood elf, yes.
Wood elf? I don't know what that.
I think it's just that you can hide even when it's only light coverage.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
literally it.
I just turn invisible.
Yeah. No, you just swan dive into the snow and disappear into the snowdrift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lithari.
Oh.
Okay.
I rolled a
Lithari,
2 and a
please.
3 so far.
So the
Rough.
two of you
Yeah.
disappear off into the fairly highly piled snow. Lithari, like you're used to being stealthy, but not in like with this much hindrance. So you're sort of like trying to wade through the snow while remaining like concealed. You're having a tougher time of it, but they still don't seem to have detected you.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, as soon as they're like 20 feet away, Elizabeth will probably just go, is everything okay over there?
As you shout this, the one of the humans sort of like looks up towards you, and says, "Please, are any of you a healer?"
Whoa.
What's going on?
Our friend, he's having some sort of reaction. I think he might be possessed.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna do something that we don't usually do. Do I know, or do I believe this person? This situation?
Insight check, you mean?
An insight check.
Oh my
Insight check,
God.
we never do that.
She's going
What
off the
are
rails.
those?
Stop her!
Okay.
Hello.
Oh wow.
So,
Wow.
This is against protocol.
the guy looks like he's in a state of intense emotional distress. You are inclined to believe his story just by the way he is, like the way he appears to you. Like he doesn't. There's absolutely no hesitation between what he says and like when you ask the question, and he looks genuinely distressed.
Okay, that's good enough for me. So
Let's get off the horse.
yeah, I mean, I'm already off the horse and walking. I guess unless it's really far, then I'll ride closer. But you know,
Well, yeah.
I don't know how far away we were when we yelled, but I assume not that
well,
far.
Yeah, not that far.
The horses. Let's get over there and help.
Yeah. So I mean, so my instinct is to first see if there's something that I can just quickly, like, cleanse with the way that I, you know, like lay on hands cleanse, because that's like the easy first step of what's going on here. Because I am not, I can heal, but I am no healer in the sense of knowing what the fuck is going on. My unsurprisingly, Kelariis' method is to attempt to try things until something works, hopefully. But yeah, I mean,
Okay, I guess make me a religion check.
a religion check? Oh fuck.
Yes.
Okay, that's not gonna go
Well,
great.
if it is possession.
Yeah. Well, fun story about my religion checks is they're absolutely shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which not surprising.
Okay, so you sort of you check this guy over, and like from his behavior, he is like he's definitely affected by something that is like has removed his control from his body. His eyes are like rolling around in his head, and his ability to control his own body is incredibly limited. You have absolutely zero experience in dealing with possession, and you have no idea how to resolve this. The other thing you do notice with a religion check, even that poorly, the man is wearing a holy symbol around his neck.
Oh. I'm assuming that I don't recognize it though.
Yeah, even with a 3, you would recognize it as a holy symbol of Palor.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fair enough.
Can I think of any magic that may be responsible?
Give me an Arcana check. So, with a quick assessment over this this man's like thrashing body, he is not. There are magical ways to possess a body. This is not it. This is definitely a supernatural possession.
Okay. So dispel magic would not work.
It does not. With your just general intelligence and knowledge, basically the only way to remove the ghost from him is an effect that would turn undead, or for you to knock the host unconscious.
Okay.
Oh no!
Well, in that case, Elizabeth knows Kelariis is a paladin.
Yeah.
So she just turns to Kelariis and be like, "Quick, something that really makes undead like not happy."
I'm very quickly checking my
Kelariis' quick Google search returns, "Did you mean smite?"
No, I'm very quickly going to check if I have something prepped that I can use for this because, unsurprisingly, I don't have.
So, Elizabeth, with the Arcana check as well, there is a secondary effect here that I didn't read. It's something like turn undead or the ability to dispel good or evil.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Something that undead or like evil don't like.
Why are these the things that I don't have prepped? I can remove a curse.
Yeah, after a moment's hesitation, Elizabeth would just be like, yeah, I mean, like, eventually Elizabeth would also just be like, or you could just knock him out, that would also work.
I really don't want to have to do that. If we can avoid it. And I kind of like look at the two people who are probably a little panicked hearing that, I'd imagine.
Yeah. His companions like seem a little worried,
Well,
but they are
Let's
also
go down.
struggling to sort of hold him down.
Yeah. Hold on, let me... Yeah, because the only thing that I have is... Or that I would have been able to use is... Actually... Yeah, because I'm assuming Remove Curse does not do the same thing as
It
what
does
you were trying to
not.
imply. Yeah, okay. So, we're pretty fucked because I don't have anything else that would potentially...
Wait, what's
Well-
your channel divinity?
I can hit people really good, and I can make people afraid of me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I can hit good.
well,
yeah, it's I'm not healing spect, unsurprisingly
now.
or surprisingly maybe.
well, if we knock him out, you can bring
Yeah, I
him. You
can
can wake him up
Literally bring
instantly.
them right back. I'm also checking items really quickly to make sure that I'm not forgetting like some hidden property of something that we have because it's been a hot
Yeah.
second.
Just be like, donk.
Yeah, I mean I could just hit him really hard and then bring him right back. I'm not saying that in character, I'm just presenting
Yeah,
that
just-
as an option.
Just bop him on the back of the head.
Yeah, I mean I guess
don't have
I
that anymore.
present that as an option, like honestly the best choice at this the best option right now is to temporarily knock him out and I can immediately wake him back up again.
Okay.
And
Make me a persuasion check.
this is the worst. This is when I regret not having other spells prepped.
Ah,
Okay.
that's a good persuade.
They exchanged like a nervous glance and sort of say, "You think that's the best thing?"
These poor people.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, Elizabeth's
Oh,
just
I
gonna
feel
go,
like
yeah, Elizabeth's just gonna go, I am sorry in advance.
don't
I don't know
tell
why in
them
advance, but I'm
that.
sorry that this is the thing that has to be done.
The
not
funniest thing
making
is
it better.
that Arya and Lithari, I don't know how much of this they can hear, so they're just gonna see fucking Kelariis walk up,
Yeah.
look really like,
Oh,
like
whack!
think for a second, and then just smack this poor guy on the head.
Look, if Lithari was there, it would have happened much faster. So,
Wow. I'm guessing Elizabeth would have gone, or you could just knock him out and then whack!
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ah,
Uh,
shit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's knock this poor guy out.
Like, it's better than being possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
I'd definitely rather get punched by Dragon Mum than be possessed by a demon.
Well, can I just knock this poor guy out as
Okay.
nicely as possible? I don't know how to do that, but you know.
Given your strength, I will say there isn't a roll to be made here.
Just bop.
Just smack him really hard.
I was gonna say with your, with your strength modifier, as long as you hit him, you're probably gonna knock him out.
Also, you get
Yeah.
an infinite amount of punches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to knock him out and then quickly make him not unconscious. Because I
Okay,
feel very bad
so
about that.
Have a killer
you
headache.
you apply like a backhand strike across the temple
Yeah.
to knock him unconscious. I need to prepare something very quickly.
Oh no. I don't
Um,
like this.
He turns into a demon lord!
Please
Oh
don't.
my god.
He
God, they're
turns
gonna think I did something to him. Please don't.
He turns into the archdevil Zariel. Roll initiative.
So
I'm suddenly very hyper. I'm sorry.
after you so you apply a solid blow to the temple, knock him unconscious, and right as you're about to lay on hands to bring him back to consciousness. You watch as a spectral presence begins to rise out of his unconscious body and just coalesces into a. Well, I imagine some. I think all of you have seen a ghost before.
Yes.
I might not have.
Elizabeth may not have seen a ghost. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
Unless my childhood home was haunted.
Well, genies are basically ghosts.
That's not.
That's no.
No.
That's racially insensitive.
Really insensitive. Jesus Christ. I mean, not Jesus Christ. That red shirt guy from that story we made that one time.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
So go ahead and roll me initiative real quick.
What?
Oh,
It's a ghost.
okay. Against the ghost?
Against a vengeful spirit.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's a
that's-
spirit and
God, I
she's
forgot how
vengeful.
big Lyra is.
I know. I need to get Lyra a better token.
Oh my god.
Lyra,
got all
big
ex-
chonk.
I got very excited about it all over again because I forgot how large she is.
Yeah, she's very large.
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 You're a big girl.
Oh my god.
I forgot to click on my token.
Fine. If you just click and roll again, then you can enter it afterwards.
I've done it. It's alright.
Oh,
Also
thank
works. DM powers.
The magic of the dungeon master.
But yeah, this ghost emerges from the unconscious form of this man, and his two friends drop him sort of like in shock and go for like swords and stuff that they have at their belts. Kelariis, you get to react first.
Hi,
this
I
calls
wanna.
for?
Can I
It's a-
please smite, or can I try to hit first? I
Well,
can't
you've got to
smite
swing
him.
first, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Because everyone knows the reason you picked Paladin was not to cast any actual spells, but instead view your weapon
Hey,
with various flavors
hold
of
on.
smite!
Excuse you, I cast spells. Thank you very much.
Not as much as smite.
Okay.
I think that hits.
I'm going to assume a
That
30
hits,
and
yep.
Smite!
Let's do a little smite. I just want to get rid of this thing as quickly as possible, so let's just.
Smite him good!
I guess I'll just second level smite him. I don't know. That sounds like a good amount of smite. Is this? I'm assuming undead
Yes.
or counts as undead. Okay, so that's 4 total. It's been so long since I've had to roll smites. Good lord.
Been so long since I've seen roll 20.
Yeah, so that's 48. Okay, there you go. That was a
Nice.
okay roll.
Okay, so that is 2 19s. So that's
Now that's a lot of no, it's not. It's not even that much anymore.
Oh,
Remember when that would have
34.
been a roll that made all of us go like,
38.
whoa!
I do
Now
get
we're just
another.
like,
okay,
now
so
we're
you-
just like, yeah, Kelariis.
you bring a radiant slash through the incorporeal form of the ghost and watch as radiant energy sparks up along it. Next.
Okay, one more swing. Whoops. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to click. I've been rolling on a very different sheet.
Okay.
There you go.
Well,
Cool.
Nice.
So before you even imbue this with smite, the first swing blasts this ghost and it reels backwards. You bring the sword level with your eyes and then thrust forwards, and again the same radiant glow just bursts off the sword, and the ghost is just decimated into magical wisps.
Nice.
And yeah, all of that happens within the space of 6 seconds, and the guys who literally were going for their short swords watch this ghost disappear in front of them, and then just sort of look at you and are in shock.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
I mean, assume if there's a little pause, Elizabeth just sort of goes, ta-da!
I just
Just because there's no one else to do.
I just quickly sheathe
I think
Miss Sword and go and pick up that poor guy that they probably just dropped and
Yeah, he's like face down in the snow.
yeah,
think
I'll
we're
pick
one of
him
the-
up and like sit him up a little and lay on hands a
the
little
sword,
bit.
One of the
lady.
One of the important questions, however, is did we recognize what it was beyond like a ghost? Did we recognize the fact that it was like a vengeful ghost, or did we basically just blow it up so hard that we didn't really get to see?
I guess
Sorry.
give me religion checks if you want to try and determine that.
Would Kelariis have just seen it was a ghost?
You saw it as a ghost, yeah.
Okay. Then Kelariis currently does not give a shit because she's now concerned
Yeah.
about the person that she had to knock unconscious and feels bad
Oh.
about doing that.
Look at all these. Look at all this religion.
Not bad.
Natural 3, natural 2, natural 2, natural 18.
Yep.
We're
It's
going
fine.
up.
You're doing well, aren't you, Grandma?
Look, I just need to get back in the swing of things.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
As I'm the king of the swingers. Oh.
So Elizabeth and Lithari, you recognize this, Elizabeth, from your learning. Actually, probably Lithari from your education as well, because you were monastery educated.
I read it in a book.
This is it's a regular old ghost, a lost spirit with unfinished business. In this case, possibly seemingly vengeful, as it was appeared to be some sort of clad in some sort of military garb, like a chain vest and male legs, and like straps at the side where perhaps once it held a sword. I want to say nothing special in the case that it's a ghost. Like, a ghost is fairly special. Grim, to you, however, this ghost is a little bit more significant.
Oh.
As you recognize it. It was probably once like a human form before it was like the flesh appeared like stripped away and spectral. But the armor that it wears is what caught your attention. As it's armor that you've seen before. Particularly striking is the insignia on it, because you used to wear a set of armor with exactly the same insignia.
Oh.
Back when you were a soldier.
Backstory. Knock, knock, open up the door. It's backstory, bitch.
Wow.
Wow.
To be honest, there is not much backstory to be had there beyond that it was a part of it, but
It's a former comrade.
it is still kind of curious. But well, because would this spirit have like chosen someone randomly, or
With that sort of religion check, if ghosts get ghosts very often haunt the sites that they were usually like killed in or had their unfinished business in. And should anyone disturb them or get in their way, they tend to get very aggressive, and possession is one of their options when that happens. Usually they try to possess a form to complete their unfinished business.
say, would a certain event that I remember have happened in the vicinity here?
Thinking back on it, taking your bearings from the nearby surroundings, that's entirely possible.
Hmm.
Oh
Knock,
boy.
open up the door. It's backstory.
Oh, potential.
goodness.
And it's not just any backstory. It's tragic backstory.
Uh,
The best
well,
kind.
like, I guess, like the main reason why I was going through this was just to figure out if the man was innocent or if the man had some some dark past.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it. By the sounds of it, it's just stumbled on the wrong.
To be brutally honest with you, that's not the kind of thing you can deduce from examining the ghost. It's the kind of thing you need to deduce from examining the people.
Yeah. Well. Well, let's take care of the guy for now.
Yeah. Elizabeth's just like,
Yeah.
ta-da,
I
Is it-
have
Paladin
extended
Kelariis.
some lay on hands to. Yeah, no, this is happening.
Okay, so yeah, you you bring him back to consciousness, and he sort of like scrabbles around in the snow for a second. And you like hold him steady, and then he takes a moment to breathe and so says, "Oh, thank you, whoever you are."
Yeah, we don't do names around here.
Names, what are those? It's no
Ugh.
problem. Are you alright now?
Yes, I think I just. One moment I was in control, and the next thing. Well, you saw.
Yeah, it looked not fun.
No, it very much wasn't. I have no desire to repeat that experience.
I'm sorry that I had to just like gestures at his head.
I'd like to say I barely felt it, but that's not true. But I appreciate that it was necessary. I attempted to turn the thing myself, but he sort of like reaches down to the holy symbol, and, like holds it, and just sort of shrugs and says, "I not exactly experienced in this field. I have had a small dealing with the undead before, but never anything on that scale." Oh, where are my manners? I am Alexander.
Kelariis, and I hold out a hand.
Yeah.
And I guess like I'll kind of stand at the same time to help him back up.
Yeah, you sort of like you grab his arm and like pull him up, and then shake hands.
Yeah.
And yeah, he turns to the rest of the other two companions and says, "This is Malik and Eyun."
Hello,
Okay.
I'm Elizabeth.
Hello.
They sort of they're still sort of catching their breath and understanding the moment, but they just sort of nod and wave politely. And he turns like as the dwarf finally makes it to them. And he sort of says, "And this fellow is Rodri." And
Pleasure to meet you all.
the dwarf sort of like is huffing and puffing like,
Yeah.
Well-
I think I'm imagining that bit from Lord of the Rings where Aragorn and Legolas are just running off, and Gimli's like, "Oh fuck."
yeah, yes, very similar.
Nice.
Are the rest of you right?
They sort of like look at each other and said, "Yes, I think we got out of this unharmed." At which point the dwarf sort of like sinks slightly lower into the snow and says, "Yeah, I'll be fine. Just gotta catch my breath."
So when you say on this scale, do you mean there was more than one ghost, or was that just a angrier ghost than you're used to?
If I'm being honest, first ghost.
Cool.
Awesome.
That makes at least two of us.
Oh. I think. So. Where did you find the ghost? Would be the more pertinent question here, I think.
Well, to cut a long story short, we are, I guess you'd call us contractors. We go to dangerous places and recover things that people want. There's a old village over the way. There was once a big battle of some sort, and since that sort of happened, the place has been abandoned, supposedly haunted. I say supposedly, I guess I now have proof. People haven't been near it for possibly 60, 70 years.
I'd say a little less than that, but I am very familiar with the events around that town.
He sort of like looks at you quizzically.
By the way, this is Grim. He never said his name. I'm just making sure you know who he is.
Yes. I just then thought, because I've never actually came back here to see what happened with the mess, or
Well-
went back there, I guess.
If you're going back to the town, I'd be a little careful. The place is mostly abandoned, but there do seem to be a number of spectres still floating about and causing problems.
Oh, not too concerned about those. Although, yeah, it might be good if somebody went there and cleaned it up a bit.
Well,
Uh,
we were sent to discover if the place was still habitable, so unfortunately after that encounter I think I'm going to be reporting back that it isn't, unless you're willing to go.
I don't. We probably won't have time to do a full proper clear. We might make sure that they're depending on our. I would have to consult with the others, but we might have a look, making sure that all the remnants of evil that have been cleaned up. Wouldn't want anything that is causing more specters and ghosts to appear still being around.
He nods and sort of says, well, if you do go, then Pell will be with you, but I suppose all that we have left to do is thank you again and continue on our way. We have some experience with dealing with dangers, but unfortunately the supernatural is a little bit beyond our abilities, it would seem.
Oh, it is super for a reason.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm 14 and
Wise
this is deep.
words from Grim.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take a look. But yes, you should. Well, I imagine can't be kind of been nice, or warm, just in the snow, being dried all the way.
He sort of like takes his cloak off and begins to sort of squeeze it out. So it says, yes.
Yes, you should get going before you get sick.
Find yourself a nice warm fire.
A low groan emerges from the dwarf and he says, just 5 minutes first. Alexander sort of like looks back and says, I think we'll wait here for a little while.
That's up to you.
Here is safe enough, as cold as it is, so.
Although, that's it. If you, we are a little busy at the moment, but if you would want that place cleared out eventually,
Oh, Grim.
we are part of the Amber Eagle. We might have some people that could take care of it. It's a mercenary company.
The human that he directed to as Malak sort of perks up at this and sort of says, think I've heard of you before.
Yeah, you might. We've
Didn't you rescue some princess?
yes.
Yeah, down in Helm's Blessing.
Yes.
Well, small world, I guess.
Well,
Certainly doesn't
word
feel
gets
like it when
around.
you're walking all the way from Ivywood Market.
No, I suppose that is quite a journey.
Oh well. But yes. We should discuss if we want to actually go there or if we
Yeah, maybe we should get the other two.
yes.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Guess we'll just
Wherever
loudly
they
whistle and
are.
wave.
I didn't follow where they went.
Yeah, I mean,
if you just like wave, we'll come over.
yeah, I was gonna say Kallistrate
Yeah.
would just.
Yeah.
Waves in a general direction. Waves in a vague guess of where they are.
The
Lithari just drops down from a tree that she was probably sitting.
God.
yeah,
Crunch.
the
Crunch into the snow.
the small group of individuals that you've just rescued sort of seem surprised as two elves drop out of or appear out of nowhere and begin to walk towards you, and almost have a small heart attack as basically a large white wolf jumps out of a snowbank and just boom, boom, boom across the snow towards them.
Yeah. Don't worry about the wolf. She's friendly.
We weren't
I
quite
know
sure
it's
what was going on.
I'm
so we
glad.
safe.
It's a big wolf, but she's. Well,
She's
just
fine.
Just don't touch her, and you'll be fine.
Yes, I think we'll stay right here. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, perhaps we'll leave you to it then, unless I kind of like look at Grim, unless you have more questions.
Oh no. Well, I guess how far is the walk from here?
Well, depending on whether or not you follow our tracks back, which might be quicker, it's maybe 20, 30 minutes. I'm honestly surprised they managed to drag me this far.
Yeah, that is a very short detour. Well,
The two guys just sort of look at each other and go, well, it wasn't easy, but fortunately he's not the heaviest.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look
Yeah.
easy from where we saw you from the road. So.
well, you did a good job getting him out of there.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah, the two groups separate so you can have a private conversation.
Could Arya and I hear all that?
Yeah, I imagine you were still within like earshot. You perhaps didn't get the whole conversation, but you got pieces of it.
So, haunted village.
Well,
Grim.
it would be nice to, deal with some unfinished business.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's definitely a story that should be shared. I think. Well, not should be, but like if you want to share it, like you can probably share it. You don't have to share it.
I mean, I think that we can go there. I'm
let's
sure
get-
time-wise that's not an issue.
Let's get there first, and we'll see how things are.
Unless it's like a story time walk.
How about once we get there, we'll turn it into a show and tell,
Hmm.
kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, unless either of you have any words against it, kind of like looking at Arya and Lithari.
No.
It's been a while since I've seen a proper spirit before.
Objections going once, going twice.
And off we go.
Okay. You take the brief detour off through the snow. It's much easier following the footsteps of the people and the long drag marks from where one of them was carried. But you eventually arrive on basically like you start to head up a small hill and come to a basically like the crest of a small hill overlooking what was once like probably a decently sized village. Is the tumble down ruins of perhaps what was once a small chapel with a spire and a number of houses. The thing that strikes you all first of all, though, is as you come to the crest of this hill, there is basically like a small natural dip in the crest of the hill as you come to the very top of it, and here, lying under a few feet of snow, is still the remnants of perhaps what was once a large campsite.
I was so ready for you to say skeleton then.
No.
Well, there might be some skeletons in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was just expecting someone to accidentally kick a skeleton at some point. You know?
Oh, I guess we might as well. If we notice the remnants of the campsite, I might as well. So this is where it all kind of began. Well, I was stationed here at one point, but as you might realize, things didn't quite turn out the way we expected them to, for various reasons. But I'll spare you the details.
I mean, yeah, if things did go the way you expected, I imagine there's probably still be people here.
Kind of.
That wasn't like a dig at you or anything. I'm just sort of thinking aloud.
We had I'd say a bad night, but well, that means we're close. And we'll just keep on going.
Yeah. So making your way down the inside of the hill, there's a. It's very difficult to spot from all of the snow covering, but Grim, your sort of vague memories of this place allow you to find a small winding path that comes down the side of the hill to the edge of this town, where as you sort of set foot in the snow and hear just sort of like the crunching sound underneath the snow, there's a moment where you're vividly just back in that moment. There's shouts and cries from people all around you, the clashing of metal on metal, and somewhere nearby something is burning, but you turn to look where it is, and the moment is gone.
I guess he's a little more jumpy potentially than usual. If he ever is jumpy.
Yeah, the rest of you watch as Grim's hand is just hovering, almost just touching the tip of the new sword hilt.
You alright there, Grim?
Yes, it's fine. Yeah, these are I used to well, one of my jobs was to scout, and I've been there before. And you could get a nice view from up on that little hill. But yeah, we'll see when we get closer. So they did say there were going to be ghosts and specters. I think fighting twice would be enough.
Twice.
Well, most of these people, I don't know if the ghosts are soldiers or villagers, but the most of the villagers, they passed away, and then were called back to service.
Ah.
So I can
therein
imagine that might
lies-
leave some restless spirits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and therein lies the problem with fighting the undead. Friendly casualties have a habit of bolstering ranks, I guess.
Well, they didn't quite happen that actively, but it's, still no pleasant sight.
No.
So as you begin to step inside the perimeter of this village and start looking around, it immediately becomes obvious that yes, this place is not to a small degree as well haunted. There is an unnatural sharpness to the air, and as you sort of look around, you catch glimpses in the corner of your vision of like flickering figures and other unnatural effects. And as you grow closer to the stone structure that perhaps was once the church, the one of the inner walls has caved in, and you can sort of it looks like at one point the perhaps due to wind or weather, the spire has collapsed inwards. But what the way it has collapsed has revealed one of the inside walls, which even with the fresh coating of wet snow that is covering everything, daubed on the wall that is still standing in a silvery paint, is an insignia that many of you have encountered before. Well, actually, Grim, Kelariis, and Arya have encountered before, which was a sigil that was displayed by the cultists who followed the oh god names Dread Legion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this certainly doesn't look fun.
I'll gently tear it. Well, say gently tear it down.
It's
So-
it's painted on a wall.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Elizabeth's also just gonna like get the staff out.
Well, as you may see, these are even back then it was a foe that we've encountered. Well, quite recently, I'd say. Well, not even a year ago.
Though you didn't know it at the time.
Oh, I didn't share it too much, but
Oh yeah. Sorry, I meant when you first encountered them, you didn't know who they were.
Oh yeah. No, but we did find the sigils
Yes.
or the symbols. If the paint's still here, I wonder if there's still an altar or something. I kind of imagined that they would have torn this place apart, but I guess not.
I mean,
Maybe-
if there is an altar, do we try to destroy it? Or at
Well,
least
if there-
dismantle it?
Well, if there is, definitely. Though I was kind of hoping that they took care of that way back when.
Hmm.
Well, no harm in looking around.
Yes.
Sure. Those of you who are looking around, make me investigation checks.
Can I help somebody instead?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help somebody instead.
Do you wanna help a +11?
I was gonna help Grim, honestly, because I
Yeah,
think.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, help
no
some people.
offense to Elizabeth, but
No,
I
that's-
think
I totally get it.
Kelariis
I
is
can help
insane.
you, Elizabeth, because my
Okay.
investigation is pretty shit.
High five for the bad investigation club,
High
Arya.
I'm not a part of this club.
Burnouts and bad investigation. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, this is fine.
So, Grim and Elizabeth, as you're sort of looking around inside this crumble down old church, you do indeed, as you sort of begin clearing the snow off things, you notice that actually that one part is, as you start to clear the snow off, it's actually, there is a sheet draped over like a small structure. And as the two of you pull this sheet away, there is indeed a like a small altar set here. Though, looking at the way that it's covered and the fact that this sheet has only a thin layer of snow on it, this thing probably hasn't been here as long as the daubed paint on the wall. This thing has been here within the last couple of months.
Well,
That's a lot more complicated.
it's a lot more worrying.
And the thing that's there, is any indication as to who who they're praying to or who they're worshipping, or
well, you can make me a religion check, but the iconography that is present would indicate that it is an altar to the worship of Tharizdun.
well, I guess in that case, I wouldn't think too much about it.
Yeah, we just need to not have this be here.
Yes, we should. Well, we definitely destroy this now. I'll just work on it immediately. Just grabbing. Would my morning star even be a good idea?
I mean, do you want me to just set fire to the whole thing?
It is essentially a altar on a small wooden bench with some candlesticks and some metal icons. So destroying it is not difficult.
Well, no, okay. Well, I would definitely just destroy him.
Yep.
Although the fact that it's fresh, as I'd say,
Yeah.
is kind of concerning.
Can
I
I-
don't think I'd stop it. Kind of.
Yeah. Can I keep a lookout on the outside
Sure.
of the church, like just on the outdoors? Do you want me to make a check for that, or is that just?
Yeah, you can roll if you want to. Passive will do fine though.
Alright. I'll just keep with the passive.
It's always safer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
I want to set fire to the altar.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, I could just firebolt and set fire to it.
Okay, you're casting Firebolt?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you watch as the small cloth and wooden table begin to ignite and flames lick across it.
See, here's where I wish I'd bought a bucket of paint,
Hmm.
so I could just also just defile their
Graffiti.
Could we
Yeah.
not like scorch it off the wall or something? If Elizabeth has fire.
Perhaps.
Lithari, as you're keeping watch, you turn away from one angle for a moment and then look back, and a small handful of spectral figures have appeared and appear to be watching your group from a distance.
I suppose I'll call Arya over and point them out.
Okay.
Looks like we have company.
It's like,
As you point them out, 3 more appear.
lovely.
How many of them are there now?
About 6.
Okay.
We could do this.
Yeah.
We need to start getting rid of some ghosts.
It's the moment I realize I don't have any anti-ghost anything.
Oh no.
I'm all anti-ghost because magic.
The table,
like-
which has been burning for a short period now, just sort of cracks and collapses inwards.
Yep, I guess that'll do it.
That will do. Well,
It's a shame
As much as
Vandal
it-
isn't here.
and as much as I'd like to actually figure out who's worshipping, I don't
Yeah.
think we have the time
Yeah.
for
It's a shame-
stakeout.
Yeah, it's a shame Vandal
Well-
isn't here. We could have him consecrate the place.
There's no harm in taking a quick look around.
No, we should definitely look around a little more.
Are the ghosts reacting at all, or are they just?
They're just quietly watching.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, have those two told anybody else there's ghosts?
If you turn around to talk to them, you can see the ghosts.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
They're like they've formed like almost like a semicircle on the open side of the church.
Are they moving
Um,
in at all, or?
And no, they're staying about 60 feet away.
What does it look like these ghosts are wearing?
Give me a perception check. A handful of them are in the similar sort of chainmail and plate setup. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are like a little less armored, though whether they are wearing like farmer's clothes or just simple robes or leather armor is difficult to tell because their appearance is disheveled and dilapidated.
Yeah, because they're ghosts.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they'll like get hostile, or do you reckon they'll just sort of watch?
I mean,
Well-
it's hard to say. They haven't moved in yet.
I mean, what happens if we walk towards them?
think-
Because we're gonna have to get out of here, right?
As you're having this conversation, 2 more ghosts have floated in from the edges.
Fuck.
I'll step forward out of the church.
I think the most important question is: do we need to like do something to get them to like rest, or would destroying their spirit
As
form?
Sorry, as you step out of the church, they make no movement.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. a good
Does
question.
destroying their spirit just put them to rest?
Maybe
Give-
this will be helping them. Yeah.
I will say with your religion check from earlier, you can destroy their spirits, or you can resolve their business.
Resolve their business is not an easy one.
Well, I don't know. It might be easy.
Well,
I mean, do you voice that, Grim? Because
yeah, no, I would voice it, but because I was saying out loud as like what would be best, but we're like, is resolving their well, their like issues. I imagine that would involve resolving something with the altar that we just destroyed.
Yeah, it may be as
Yeah.
simple as removing it.
Well, the altar is
I
gone.
mean, yeah, Elizabeth would turn around and just go. I mean, all that's left is the stuff that doesn't burn.
Yeah,
Well-
there's now a pair of slightly melted candlesticks and a incredibly hot iron symbol lying in the middle of this like smoking remains.
Hmm.
Perhaps what we could do, like I think the best we can do, perhaps, is how about I don't think most of these people have been or had a burial of any type or kind. We don't have their bodies, or but we could improvise.
Can I see?
As
Can I
a
look
as a
around?
point of reference, just for a second, as a point of reference, Grim, you would know that after the incident and everything that happened, a large number of the bodies were recovered, but some of them were never found, which was part of your kind of umbrage at how half-assed what the military did was, because they just left some of them unanswered.
Well, it's also cool. Like, not everybody was stuck here, so that would make sense that it was just part of the problem, I guess. Eventually,
I mean, we could always just ask them.
if you speak Ghost,
I don't know. I mean, they're ghosts of people. They probably like still know the languages they know in life, right?
I don't know if ghosts always work quite that way.
Well, there's only one way to find out. And like, I'm gonna sort of walk towards the doorway.
Okay, Lithari, what were you saying?
I imagine there's not any footprints because snow, but I want to look around for any sort of signs of like recent activity or something.
Give me an investigation check.
All right. Is there any way I can swing you on survival, or is that a different?
Yeah, go. Given the environment, I will allow survival because you're looking for
Okay.
evidence in the snow.
Thank you.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So a glance around the area reveals, obviously, your tracks as you arrived. There is a set of tracks that winds its way down past the church, which, judging from the number of footprints and the how recent they were, is the prior adventuring party.
Mm-hmm.
The signs of any other travel, you don't see any.
Okay.
If anybody's been here, it's not within, considering the current rate of snowfall, within the last 48 hours, there hasn't been anyone else that's been here.
All right.
But yeah, assuming no one stops her or says anything, Elizabeth will just try and speak up to the ghost and say, "Is there anything that we can help solve to help you pass on?"
There's a quiet moment as the ghosts just sort of drift in space. And then there's almost like a whisper on the wind that seems to come from the semicircle in front of you. You just hear peace.
Peace. Okay, did I hear that right? Did I hear untether us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, does only Elizabeth hear that, or?
No, everybody would hear that, yes.
Yeah.
Very quietly, but you would hear it.
Yeah. So wait, something's holding them here?
Perhaps so. I guess perhaps they could point us towards the tether. You wanna give it a go, or
Yeah.
As you're having this conversation, one of the ghosts raises its arm and points back towards the church, and then all of them do it in unison.
Ugh.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
I'm going to go back in the church and cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay.
Because I can't do it as a regular action because.
Okay,
I
so
forget.
you start taking 10 minutes to cast that. What are the rest of you doing?
Can I paladin sense?
You can use Divine Sense.
Yes, that one.
Okay.
I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry.
Turn on your paladin senses.
Because I know that obviously, like, I would imagine that the specters, the ghosts, would kind of show up for lack of a better term, like on that
Yeah.
kind of sensing. But I'm wondering if I can pick up anything else.
Yeah, okay, so you begin to utter a small prayer and reach out into the divine essence that's granted to you. And without so much your physical senses reacting to it, you are all of a sudden overcome by a wave of nausea, as if you've just inhaled the most decrepit, decaying thing that you've ever smelled, for want of a better word. And as you sort of open your eyes, you know that this place is desecrated.
Ah.
And the source of the desecration is the symbol in front of you.
Lovely.
Oh, so that might be what's holding them here then. Just that
mean,
little iron symbol.
Yeah, that.
Not the
seems like-
iron symbol, the one painted on the wall.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
that might be
Oh.
part of it, at least.
Did anyone bring some water and soap?
oh, but we can tear the wall down.
Just
Oh,
I
that's
tear
one way
down.
to do it.
I have painting supplies on my horse, but I imagine that's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't brought the horses into the
painting,
woods.
yeah.
Well, the horse is on the top, is still on the top of the hill, so that's about
Yeah.
as far as you can reasonably get them.
Well, like I considered paint at first, but if you just paint over it, it's still there underneath, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arya does have an amulet that might be useful here.
Do I?
Yes.
yes.
What's the
Look
amulet?
at your item list.
What amulet?
You previously saw it used to great effect on old stone walls.
Oh, it can cast shatter, right? Is that the amulet?
Oh.
Yes.
So basically, oh yes, that's. Sorry, I thought you meant it for like the scrubbing of walls method, not the completely blowing up the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like,
no.
what the fuck?
Yeah, he's going for the blowing up walls method.
Okay. Well, yeah, I could do that.
Should we all stand back before Arya
Yeah, I would
just detonates the wall?
stand back a little bit.
Yeah, let's get outside and stand back.
But will that undesecrate an area? Like,
Not immediately, no.
I mean, yeah, it would
okay.
destroy the source of the
I
desecration.
know it'll destroy-
And
yeah.
without a source, it wouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
It's like if you blocked off a river. Like, the parts of the river aren't gonna immediately empty the second you do it, but without a source, it is gonna dry up eventually.
More like poisoning the water table, but yes.
I didn't quite want to go for something quite so aggressive.
Well, that's quite literally what it is.
Well, yeah, but you know, I wanted a nice metaphor, not a metaphor that's basically what it is.
Well,
Okay, so we all agreed I'm gonna shower this wall.
We might want to do it from the outside.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Oh yeah.
Let's get outside and stand back.
well, should we make sure that there's nothing else in here that we might want to attend to, take care of? Sorry, I forgot words for a second.
I mean, we could take whatever that iron symbol is and have a
We
closer
don't
look at
want
I
it.
don't know.
No, but we should maybe melt it down or do something to it.
Mm.
I mean, it's probably cooled down by now.
Yeah, it is like lying in the snow, hissing slowly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I just pick a blood of snow and drop the snow on it?
It hisses aggressively and then is quiet.
Now it's definitely cooled down.
I can pick it up. I'll pick it up and pocket it.
Well, you can't pocket it because it's like the size of your head, but
Oh.
you can
oh,
put
I
it in your
thought was a
backpack.
good- Okay. Sure.
Yeah, and then make sure a fox doesn't sneak up behind you, others we'll have to start yelling.
What?
What?
Anyway,
Swiping, no swiping.
Fine.
None of you watched Dora the Explorer?
no.
I was too old by the time Dora Explorer came along.
Ah,
So,
just me then.
Lithari, you notice as you put this in the backpack, the ghosts sort of like begin to like watch you and shuffle a little.
Yeah, I don't think they like that because that's probably part of what's not bringing them peace.
I think I just said I'm gonna go. I like turn towards the ghost. It's just like I'm just gonna take this out of here, and then I turn to the party. I'm just gonna take this out of here, and I leave the church.
Okay.
And start headed towards the forest.
They like heads on a swivel just watch you go.
Oh.
Hmm.
That's spooky. Right, let's blow up this wall already.
Okay. You grip the medallion, pointed at the outside of the wall, and focus and cast the spell.
Boom.
The loud crack, like even muffled by the snowfall and the surrounding ruined buildings, is ear splitting as basically this old crumbled down piece of wall is blasted inwards into fragments.
Lovely.
Wow.
How stable does the rest of the building look now?
Not very.
Yeah, let's not be in the way of the spot of, like, you know, the thing now just collapsing.
Oh, the spire has long since collapsed. That's what
Oh, no,
opened
I
up
mean
the
the-
half wall.
Oh no, I mean the rest of the building.
Well, there's not much wall left, but maybe don't stand too close to the wall.
But yeah, what do your paladin senses detect now?
I
Because
mean-
there's either two results. Either it's desecrated and there's a source, or no, there's either desecrated and there's no source, or it's desecrated and there's like lots of sources all over the place because all we've done is scatter the symbol everywhere.
I mean, can I tell that?
You can use your paladin sense and then have an investigation or look around.
Yeah, no, gladly. Yeah, like I'll do that.
Okay.
That's fine.
So you extend your paladin senses. Give me an investigation check or something along those lines.
My investigation is so bad.
I'll help you.
Oh no, it's okay.
Well, you can't help her because you don't have her senses.
That's true. Fuck.
Yeah.
Moral support. Wait, Arya, bro not at me real fast.
Oh, brother!
Okay.
No, you know what it is? It's when you're doing a Dynamax raid in Pokemon, and your Pokemon's fainted, so you just have to cheer. It's that.
It
doesn't really
echoed
do anything.
ineffectually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
So
kind of there.
yeah, Kelariis, you extend your senses, reach out into the surrounding rubble and masonry.
Yeah.
The place is still steeped in this stagnant desecration, but the source is gone.
Okay. So I
It-
do get the sense that over time it will
Yes.
probably. Okay.
How long? It's been here a while, sort of like seeping into the soil and surrounding area. So you have no idea how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
But it started. And it's possible now that you know this that somebody can come here and cleanse it properly. But it won't get any worse.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I relay that information and say, I unfortunately cleanse the area myself, but at the very least, the source is gone. So.
It's good to know.
Now, once we get back, we should send the party up here again. Then they can escort a priest of some kind.
Why don't we just send Vondal?
We could
True.
send Vondal, although I don't know if he's busy or not.
Well, yeah, depending on
At
how
the very
busy he is,
least,
Vondal can take
can
some of the
mention
recruits and
it
be good
to-
training, right?
Well, the details we'll figure out, but in short, we should send someone else because the altar we burned might be set back up, and they might rebind stuff.
We could mention something to people in Artenstar.
Maybe we could arrange something there.
Like,
Uh,
what was the
We'll get to that.
like what was the village even called?
That's a good question.
I don't know if you ever named it.
I don't think we ever did.
Well, from now on, then, whenever we refer to it, we'll just have to go insert name of village.
Well. You ask Grim what the name of the village is, and he can't remember.
Well, that's useful.
That makes me sad.
The one time we asked for a name.
The one goddamn
No.
time.
that just makes me sad for like the idea. I don't know. Never mind.
What if we asked the ghost?
I'm just double checking, but I don't think in there. Nope, it's not in there.
Okay, well, I've given it a name, but Grim does not remember.
Hmm.
This is fine. Well,
Yeah. While that's happening, can I take this thing into the woods nearby?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, I'll do that.
Okay, you take it out into the nearby woods. There are not like fully fledged ghosts, but a handful of wisps follow you.
Okay.
Not large enough wisps to be threatening, but definitely supernatural presence.
And
Yeah.
not will-o-wisps.
Yeah.
Will-o-wisps bad.
They're not the worst. They're just not great.
I never said they were the worst. I just said they're
No.
bad.
They fucked you guys up in in V's Grove that one time.
Yeah.
See, the sad thing about that isn't it? Don't they use lightning or something?
Yes.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
hit everybody except for Kelariis, I'm pretty sure, and I was just
Yep.
like, why? The one time.
Oh, it's okay. You got plenty of chance to tank lightning more recently.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, and
true.
it felt great. Anyway, sorry.
What do you want to do with this thing?
What's the landscape like here? Is it like mostly flat, except for the trees and stuff?
Yeah, like approaching the edge of the forest, it's fairly flat.
All right, I'll just like drop kick it into a bush.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm drop kicking an iron.
You just fucking
Symbol.
yeet what's left of this statue or idol or whatever.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think you should drop kick something made of
Yeah,
metal. That'd fucking
drop kick
murder your
wasn't an idea.
toes.
Yeah, I'll just like
Look,
kick it into a bush.
she's a monk. She can
Yeah.
kick anything.
That's true.
When you said drop kick it in a bush, I literally just imagined Lithari just yeets it into the air, just bicycle kicks it like 40
yeah,
feet.
yeah.
Just katoosh!
Actually, yeah, that would be pretty damn
Oh.
badass.
So good.
Like Belgian flying kick. Doosh.
Ah, yeah. That's a cool finisher in Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
God, we're such nerds.
Yep.
Who knew the Belgians had such a badass flying kick? I certainly
Wow.
didn't. Nice work, Belgium. You've given us many great things.
Anyway. Yeah, you yeet it into the forest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brush my hands off, head back to the village.
I take this opportunity to thank the country of Belgium for their waffles, their chocolate, their saxophones, and of course, their flying back kick.
Out of curiosity, like obviously Lithari is the only one there, but how do the little wispies, or do they seem to react at all to that, or just kind of are there still?
The wisps don't seem to react in any way. They just they are sort of present in the ambient environment.
I see.
They seem drawn to your existence rather than anything else.
They're basically all just there going, "Oh, look at this! It's a living soul."
Wow.
That's stereotyping.
I
Anyway,
don't know why I gave them an old lady voice either.
so as the rest of you finish your demolition job, you see Lithari making her way back towards you. The ghosts are still just standing in this half circle watching you through this new hole in the wall.
So that should hopefully undesecrate after a while.
It will, as long as nobody, well, sets up anything else, essentially.
Or if there isn't, like, another one of those somewhere else in town.
I mean, it's not anywhere nearby at the very least, that I can tell.
No, but we can always just ask.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Elizabeth always turns to the ghosts, expecting them to be listening like they were earlier.
They appear to be listening to you. They don't respond, though.
Is there another one of those?
A few of them exchange glances with one another, but nothing is said.
Are you still tethered?
They don't appear to know.
But then what could be holding them here? Maybe it does just need time to recover.
Yeah. Perhaps we should just do just quickly run, but I'd like to walk through the other buildings just
Short,
in case.
short village patrol.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, you do a quick sweep of the town. I won't make you roll for it, but you don't find anything else as immediately obvious. As you dip into a handful of the buildings, many of them have sort of like become massively unsafe over time. But some of them still have a degree of integrity to them. And one of the buildings that you buildings that you come to has the trail that the previous adventuring party led up to. The door is open, and basically like almost like a pantry door in the back has been pulled off its hinges, and lying in the pantry is the long decayed, incredibly rusted, chainmail clad corpse of a soldier that appears to be clutching what looks like the bottom half of a broken sword to its chest, and it's like the skull has fallen off, but it's still like clutching this thing tightly to its chest. It looks to have been disturbed, which suggests to you it is possibly the cause of the possession.
Mm.
They disturbed the body that was locked away in this room.
Oh.
Grimmy, you feel kind of sorry for this guy because he must have run in a blind panic and just run in completely the wrong direction.
Well, I guess the least we can do is dig him a grave.
Sure. We can
Yeah.
make that happen.
Oh, well, we'll dig the grave first, and then we'll figure out, and then we'll just gently move the remains.
You spend maybe an hour digging a grave. Digging a grave in the snow is not easy work, but you managed to get it done.
Is there a god of like death or underworld? I'm just thinking like, funeral rites for some reason.
Give me a religion check for Elizabeth.
Ah, shit.
So, every deity under the sun has, like, burial customs, essentially. But there is no established known god of death.
Oh, okay.
Winks at
Not yet.
camera.
I was gonna say not yet.
Oh.
But
Are you
Elizabeth
sure?
hasn't met her.
No.
Yeah,
No, she
Uh,
hasn't.
Elizabeth doesn't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
well, like after.
it would be the most prominent god for this area.
Oh,
If it's
How
in the
about-
kingdoms of humanity, Paylor.
All right then.
well, all we can do, we can just bury them and then give him a minute of silence, and then should be
True.
By the time you
That
finish,
sounds proper.
digging this grave and start to like carefully lift this corpse out of the house, there is now a long line of ghosts between the house and the shallow grave that you've just dug that are just watching you intently.
Oh boy.
Well, this is about as much of a funeral as you could ask for.
Let's hope they don't get jealous.
I
Oh
mean-
no!
Wow.
We could make it a more general thing. Like, yes, we're burying this specific body,
Yeah.
but we could make whatever words that are said more general.
Like a
Yeah.
memorial to the unknown soldier.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
So you place this long decayed corpse gingerly into the grave and cover it over.
There is one issue. Is he's clinging onto a sword, right?
Yes.
And they disturbed the thing, so I'm a little concerned that those other guys were looking for the sword, potentially.
I mean, honestly, whatever it is that they're looking for, that's not really our concern. In the
no, but
sense that we're not going to take anything unless you want to take something.
no, I was. There was
Well-
more case of if we bury him with the sword, I don't want them to go digging up graves now.
Well, I
Well,
was
they
thinking.
said that they said that they were just here to check if the village was habitable.
That's also
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I was about to suggest if we're going to do anything with the sword, if anything, use it almost like a headstone.
I
Sword,
yeah,
you know,
I
sword
was
in, as a
also
grave
gonna say.
marker, sword in ground, helmet on hilt.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that
might not
seems
be a
like
bad
a good
idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So
Yeah, there's probably still enough length on the broken end of the sword to do that.
Yeah, had to do that.
Okay, yeah, you
Hmm.
impale it in the ground, put the helmet on top.
Yeah, have a minute silence.
I think after the minute of silence, Lithari like takes out her rank insignia and there's probably like a storm guard like saying that said after they bury their fallen. I would assume, right?
Yes, yeah. Not sure what that would be, but
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, she probably
So-
says
They
that.
have one now.
Yeah.
something concerning warning the world that another warrior joins the wild hunt to hunt in the forests of Aravandar for eternity.
Yeah, I think she probably says that, but like uses the version that like is said after a battle, like to refer to like
Yeah.
all of the soldiers who fell.
Yeah, there's like a poetic way of saying it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I was also gonna have Elizabeth just sort of say, like, "May Paylor guide the lost souls who wander this village."
Yeah, as you sort of conclude this short ceremony, the ghosts have just formed a very tight U around the edge of this grave. Like they're much closer than they ever were. They're like 10 feet from you now.
Mm.
Probably less than that.
I guess that's we'll have to do for now.
I mean, I guess we can keep looking to see if there's anything else that we could do for whatever bodies may be left here.
Well, we can keep on searching. However, I feel like we are best off just sending Vondal or sending someone from Ardenstar to properly put these people to rest,
Mm. To consecrate the place.
among other things.
We are not priests.
It seems, as long as you're respectful, they don't seem too aggressive here.
Shall we head back then?
Let's do that. We still have a long journey ahead of us.
You edge your way around the half circle of ghosts that is surrounding this grave. They seem to no longer be paying any attention to you.
No, are they just staring at the grave?
They're all just like a circle, like staring down at this grave.
Well, hopefully that means they won't miss us.
Fun little fact about the unknown soldier, though. He was actually identified. He was actually eventually identified via DNA testing and returned to the family.
Yes, but the premise still exists.
No, yeah, obviously. Just, fun fact.
But yeah, you leave the town, return to your horses, and head back. As you ride back towards the road, Alexander and his party haven't made it terribly far, despite the fact that you've been gone for at least like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've like basically made it back to the road and are sort of setting out on their way, and they sort of gesture to you as you go past and like wave you.
Yeah. Well, I guess if they're there, Elizabeth would say, well, if you wanted someone to check it's habitable, you might as well like, rest up and try again. Just
No, just we'll take care of that part.
Alexander sort of nods and says, "That's very kind of you. We'd like to help, but I think the events of today have demonstrated that perhaps we're not entirely ready for this sort of a challenge yet."
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't mean that you won't be someday. If that's any consolation. Or, not consolation, that's not the word Kelariis would use. If that's any, that's not the word she would have used, that was just the word that came out of my mouth.
Comfort.
If that's any help. Comfort, yep, that's the word I wanted.
Yep.
He sort of does and says, yes, I have always been one to value the importance of life experiences over other things, but I think perhaps this is the first time it has been quite so visceral.
Yeah. If you do go back, bring some extra hands.
Isn't a terrible idea.
Yeah. We found a source of like desecration there, by the way. It's not there anymore, but the place is definitely still. Yeah.
He sort of frowns and sort of says, I did think something was amiss. That would make sense. You are quite well equipped to deal with things like this.
We have a wide range of skills.
I can tell.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly, huh?
Well, the reason we travel together is because each one of us has strength that might make up for weaknesses of the others.
Yes, and this is also, well, not quite. Like we're more prepared for different scale of problem.
He rubs the side of his face and says, well, I think I know who has the strong right hook covered.
Yeah, it's definitely not me.
Yes. But
It's kind of like a, not sheepish, because Kelariis is not sheepish at all ever, but like just kind of like a sorry shrug.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should keep on moving.
Does tennis exist in this world?
Not particularly.
All right then.
Yeah, you continue on the road after bidding them farewell. They look like they're about ready to set up camp, and you suspect that you will not be far behind them. But yeah, with that, we can stop that and return to this. So, as you ride on, you take a night's rest, and then over the course of the next day or so, you return to the village of Ardenstar. At which point, I think we will take a short break.
The village of Ardenstar?
Oh, city of Ardenstar, sorry.
I say it looks a bit bigger than a village.
Yes. City of Ardenstar. At which point I think we'll take a brief break.
Cool.
Okay.
Fair enough.